And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the Bill Hunter Arena for Tier 1 Junior B lacrosse action between the Edmonton Warriors and the Beaumont Outlaws. The Edmonton Warriors coming into the game sitting atop the North Division at 14-4 as they get chased down by the Rebels, who also sit at 14-4. But the Warriors with the season series, a victory of 3-1, just needing to close the season out with a couple of victories to clinch first. Meanwhile, the Outlaws have clinched that final playoff spot in the North as they sit at 6-12 as they look to conclude the regular season on a high note. Of course, beating the Warriors in their last meeting by a score of 13-9. As we're off here, off the draw on a Faraichuk is going to grab the ball and head into the offensive zone as he'll flip the ball off to Dewart. The big righty will get the ball to the half wall to Elliott. Elliott up top to Simonson as he waits for the rest of his teammates to hit the floor. He swings it over to Dewart, up top to Luke Royer. Simonson comes up top with it. He gets the ball low to Ben, who tried to hit a cutting Luke in the middle as the shot clock expired, and it'll be outlaw ball. Starting in net tonight, or today for the Warriors, is Pinch, as he makes a stop there off of Gaudreau. And down in the other end, it'll be Zadrazil for the Outlaws. Here's Carey with it as he gets knocked down just as he got the ball across the floor to Dewart. Dewart mishandled there by Elliott for a second. He picks that back up. Elliott over to Simonson. Simonson picks set there. Simonson's going to keep it all the way to the net, and he fires it in the short side. 1-0 Warriors grab the early lead. As Simonson picks up his 83rd point of the season and 37th goal. Definitely a huge threat off the left side for the Warriors, and he buries that to give them their early lead. The Warriors grab the early lead here. Scratches for the Edmonton Warriors here this afternoon. Danny Fair, Jaden Wibbs, Levi Wolney, Jacob Chalman, Logan Harrett. And that looks like it's it for the Warriors out of the lineup. And then for the Outlaws, Marcus Hildebrand, Alex Wildeboer, Ben Hobday, Jarrett Rogalski, and Eric Greenwood out of the lineup. As the Warriors will come out the front gate here, the ball will be brought up by Ben Royer. Royer is going to take his man one-on-one. He dishes to Dickin with a crease dive. That ball looked like it didn't quite reach the net. And now the ball's going to go into the corner. It's going to be picked up by the Outlaws. That's Murray. Murray gets it up to Gaudreau, who's going to transition it. The rookie from St. Albert will stop up and hand it off to Maloney. Teammates from last season in the midget program in St. Albert. And then nice behind the back by Maloney. Gets stopped by Pinch. And the Warriors will come back up with it. Here's Stashnik, the older Stashnik. Cole gets the ball over to Simonson as he'll hand it off to Ben Royer. Royer swings it over to Elliott. Elliott on a Faraichuk. Here's Luke Royer. Swings it over to Elliott. Nice look inside to a cutting Ben Royer, but that went over his head. And the shot clock's going to expire. But it's going to be picked up before that happens by Weatherby. Weatherby evades a couple of checks. And he's going to come back with it into the Warrior zone. Weatherby to long. That stopped by Pinch with a couple of early saves here. The Warriors will come up floor with it. Here's Rex Wolney. Rex over to Dewart as he steps across the crease, finishes far side, and he's giving the Warriors a 2-0 lead. As Dewar tight rope walks the crease, and he goes far side around Zadrazil. Warriors 2, Outlaws nothing here early in the first period. Now the Outlaws are going to head out in transition. Bit of a 2-on-0 here. Now the Warriors early off the bench. Gaudreau is going to send that one in on pinch. He got a piece of it. And now the Warriors are going to come back up floor. It's Carey in transition. Carey right in. And a good Outlaws stick. That actually, yeah, they're going to say it's a Outlaw ball, but it looked like it hit the Warrior or the Outlaw defender's stick and went up and out of play. But the Outlaws will get possession here. As the Outlaws continue to say too many men to no avail. Here's Stewart. Up top to Tompkins, who swings it over to Maloney. Pick set there by Turner on the left side. Tompkins winds. He fires off of a Warrior defender. They're going to say it was an Outlaw, and it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Lanthier for the Warriors. Lanthier in transition. And he's going to get checked there as he hands off to Wellner Bate. Wellner Bate inside. That's stopped by Zadrazil. As Sutherland for the Outlaws will carry it up. Here's Sika for the Outlaws. Playing a lot of offense the last number of games. Sika out across the top, out across the front of the net. And that was stopped by Pinch. Pinch making a few really good saves early in this game. Now Royer in transition. Royer rolls off a check. Hits Dickin off the bench, and that gets stopped by Zadrazil. And now Cook gets cleaned out from behind in transition. And no penalty call there, but behind the play, they're going to nab Dickin for an infraction. Looks like it's going to be a slash. So the Outlaw power play will make its way to the floor with 14:35 to go, first period, trailing 2-0. Out on the Outlaw power play, it'll be Lee up top with Stewart and Maloney on the shooters, and Turner and Tompkins down low. Here's Lee up top. Lee. He threw that over to Maloney, who missed that. Ball will go into the corner where there'll be a interference call, and it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Lanthier. He's going to sail that errantly over the head of Royer. But luckily for the Warriors, Golka will pick that up. Here's Golka deep into the Outlaw zone. Dewart. It's going to be checked there tightly by Sutherland. Ball's just going to go loose, and the Warriors will leave it there, and the Outlaws will pick it up. Stewart will make his way slowly up the floor. 13:45 to go here, first period. Warriors leading the Outlaws 2-0. Here's Lee up top. Lee will play catch with Maloney, the two leading scorers for the Outlaws, and that ball was sent over to Stewart, who took a sub shot. Good stop there by Pinch, who's been sharp here early. They're going to give the ball to the Warriors, although it looked like it clearly went off of a Warriors. Shot clock goes off, shouldn't have, as the ball goes deep into the Warrior end as they battle for it. Now they'll say interference to be Outlaw ball. Here's Tompkins up the floor as he walks it into the Warrior end. Lee, as Long will play up top on this power. Turner is allowed to step out in front. He takes a shot into the stick of Pinch. And now Andrews is sent up floor. Andrews with Lanthier. Now a second outlaw defender will come back into the play, and now a double will come as the Warriors really slow here to get out onto the floor, leaving Lanthier to fend for himself as he gets tied up behind the net by a couple of outlaws. Now the ball is going to go loose. The shot clock is going to wind down, and now it's going to be picked up by the Outlaws right before the shot clock expires. Here's Cutler, who will make his way out over center, and he's hounded there by Ben Royer. Now he hands it off. Stewart into the Warrior zone, and that was a good stop there again by Pinch as Stewart sent that low into the Warrior netminder. Ball goes up and out of play. It'll be outlaw ball. Maloney with a long outside shot. Pinch got a hand on that, and it'll be outlaw ball with a fresh 30 to work with as they go back to even strength. Here's Lee. He hits long inside. That gets stopped by Pinch. Pinch definitely been sharp here early as another Warrior is going to be sent off here. It'll be Gordon for the Warriors, serving 2 minutes for interference. It'll be another outlaw power play. 11:45 to go here, first period. Score Warriors 2, Outlaws is nothing. As the Outlaws send a fifth man onto the floor. Here's Lee up top. He exchanges with Maloney. Lee will send one in on Pinch, who jumps over and stops that. The Warriors will come up floor here shorthanded. Here's Ben Royer. He works his way through an outlaw defender. And they're going to say back over, and it'll be outlaw ball. Stewart walks the ball up the floor. A little bit of a lackadaisical pace here early on. Here's Nestor down low. Nestor, Maloney, Lee. Little bit of a seal set there as Lee shoots around that. Stewart wide open in front. Another stop by Pinch. And then the rebound was gathered up, and Pinch handles that easily, and the Warriors will head up floor as Carey comes up with it. And he'll circle back and get it to Ben Royer. Royer to Simonson. Pick set there. Royer rolls off of that. Tried to get it back up to Dickin on the right side. He crease dives. He's definitely inside the cylinder there. And it'll be outlaw ball. As we approach the midway mark of the first period, Warriors continuing to lead by a score of 2-0. Lee. Ball over now with Tompkins. Lee. Up top. Sends it down on a skip pass to Long. Maloney. Over to Tompkins, and that's handled by Pinch on the short side. Lee picks it back up. With about 10 seconds remaining on the power. Bad pass there, sent into the feet of Lee, and that's going to be costly as the Warriors are going to return to even strength. Maloney off of the left shooter. He winds and fires. That's a good stop there by Pinch. Ball will be grabbed by Pinch as he asks for a timeout. Says his helmet is a little loose. Doesn't look like it's going to be granted by the official. And the Warriors will go out on offense here. Here's Dewart out in front as he's allowed to just walk to the net and fire that in past Zadrazil. It's 3-0. So Dewart, with his second of the game, approaches hat trick territory. Just 11 minutes in, the Outlaws are going to have to find some more defensive resolve here as it's been too easy for the Warriors to get inside. And off the face-off, the Warriors will go to work on another offensive set. Dickin to Royer, down to Dewart. Dewart comes up high with it. Now he's going to try to go underneath his defender. That gets stopped by Zadrazil. And the ball is going to be rolled out. And as the Outlaws head out in transition, here's Gaudreau. Gaudreau spins off of a check right on top of Pinch as he makes another stop. And the ball is going to go in behind the net. It's going to be picked up by Menon, who's hounded there by Nestor and Gaudreau. Menon rolls off of that, and he makes his way up the floor. Here's Menon. Menon down Main Street and rips that in on Zadrazil, stops that right off of the crest. Here's Weatherby for the Outlaws. Definite energy player for them. They feed off of a lot of his efforts. Here's Weatherby up top. Ball swung over to Maloney. Maloney. Checked there by Andrews. Now inside. Tompkins was open for a second. Pass missed him. Now Maloney has to send one in wide. Trying to get a reset there. It'll be Warrior ball. With 7:38 to go. First period, Warriors leading 3-0. Here's Royer up floor. Royer winds and fires a hard shot on the far side. That pops up in the air. It's going to be almost picked up by the Outlaws. Now the ball will make its way back into Zadrazil's crease as he makes sure that it stays there and hands it off to Cook. Cook is going to be checked there by Simonson, who got a piece of his stick, but Cook's able to regather the ball and get into the Warrior zone as he's checked there by Stashnik. Cook, with only 10 seconds on the shot clock, sends a ground ball into Lee, who picks it up and walks around a Warrior defender, gets a shot. And now they're going to battle for it on the far boards. And that's going to be picked up by Maloney. They get a reset. Here's Sika off the right side. Sika swings it over to Maloney. He works a two-man game there with Long. Maloney walks around a defender, was grabbed, scores. They're going to wipe it out saying moving pick. And that's something. Now the Warriors going to go out and a little bit of a broken play out in front is going to end up in the Outlaws' stick. They throw it away momentarily, but now Weatherby grabs the loose ball and the Outlaws' offense will hit the floor. Here's Tompkins off of the near wall. He's checked there vigorously by Andrews, and now he throws it away. Here's Lanthier on a breakaway. Lanthier right in. Lanthier. And he goes around Zadrazil. Same place that Dewart has been scoring, just off of the opposite side of the floor. It's 4-0. So instead of 3-1 on the Maloney wipeout, it's 4-0. It's a pretty big swing there in favor of the Warriors, and the Outlaws are going to need to do some work here to jump back into this one before it gets out of reach here. Here's Sika with it on the near wall. Sika swings it over to Maloney. Maloney looking for someone. He surveys the floor. Still looking. Now he hits Sika, who mishandles that. And then the Warriors mishandle it in return, and it'll be Outlaw ball. Here's Sika. Looking to swing it. He does just that. Maloney comes across the top. He shoots that. That's stopped by Pinch again. It'll be it'll be Warrior ball here. As Royer makes his way down the floor here and sets up the Warrior offense. He's joined by Simonson on the left side. Ball swung over to the righties. Here's Dickin. Dickin up top. Sends a winding shot. A winding sidearm well wide. Now Gaudreau chases him down. The ball is picked up as Dickin throws the ball in desperation back down the floor on a shot clock expiration. It'll be Outlaw ball. Here's Tompkins. He's checked there by Menon. Tompkins goes down the near wall. He's pinned against the glass, but he's able to regather here and come across the top, shoot it. It goes wide. It ricocheted back off of Pinch, and then Carey was able to gather it. And here's Wellner Bate on the left side. He tries to go underneath here, looking for someone to dish to. He's checked there by Cook. Simonson swings it over to Dewart. Dewart underneath his man. Out in front. And Royer in tight there, tried to get a shot off. Sailed that wide, and it'll be Outlaw ball. 4-0, the Warriors lead here from Bill Hunter Arena. 3:30 to go, first period. So the Warriors try to conclude the regular season an undefeated, perfect 10-0 at home. They, of course, sit 14-4 overall, but every one of those losses have come away from Bill Hunter Arena. And here is Sika across the top. Sika, and Pinch does the splits to fight that one off as he maintains a clean slate here. Been really impressed with Pinch here in this first period. He's made some really strong saves, and he's just looked on top of everything, tracking the ball well, been economical in the net, and he's used his athleticism when he's had to. And now Lee is sent in hard into the boards, as it looked like he was sort of caught in between going underneath and maybe stepping back up across the top. He was nailed into the boards by a hard check. And he'll make his way to the bench a little banged up, but I think he's all right. Here's Royer down to cousin Luke, who goes around Zadrazil again, and it's 5-0. And that's something seen over and over and over again here in the first period, is Zadrazil getting beat far side, both by righties and lefties. Now off the draw, the Warriors will collect and head back out into the Outlaw zone. As Dewart, with 2 already in this game, will look to dish. He hits Dickin. Dickin, long shot into the stick of Zadrazil. Well, Warrior bench not liking that. Now they're going to grant Zadrazil a timeout. Maybe his helmet. I don't know. He's tapping his helmet. Maybe he just wants water. I don't know. But as they take a timeout on the floor, we'll go to a quick commercial here and be right back here on CROW LAX TV. So as we return to action here, 1:56 to go, first period, the Warriors holding a commanding 5-0 lead. It'll be Stewart jogging the ball up the floor here for the Outlaws. Stewart, right into the middle of the floor, takes that shot wide. Maloney spins up across the top and fires that off the glass. It'll bound all the way back into the Outlaw zone. Still with 10 seconds on the shot clock, Zadrazil taking his time here. So they look like they're just going to hold on to this and whale it down the floor, and that's what they do, and that's a wasted possession by the Outlaws. They're going to have to be a lot better here if they're going to want to climb back into this game, especially defensively. Here's Royer. Dewart up top to Royer. And the ball swung from Luke to Dewart. He tried to send that one in. Got knocked down by a good Outlaw stick, but they're going to take a interference call, and it's going to be a Warrior ball. Here's Dickin. Dickin underneath as he gets grabbed by an Outlaw defender and still scores around Zadrazil. It's 6-0. Now off the draw, ball's going to be sent back into the Outlaw zone and to be picked up by Sika. Sika gets it over to Weatherby, who will come up floor with it. As Weatherby will hand that back off to Sika and get another front gate player out onto the floor. Here's Maloney. He throws that down to Nestor. He hits a cutting Stewart, who bounces that past Pinch. And it's 6-1 Warriors with 26 seconds to go in the first period. And now off the draw, the Outlaws momentarily gain possession. Don't call it timeout. And the ball will bounce back. Anna Farajchuk had that for a second and then lost it. And now an Outlaw is going to draw a loose ball interference call, and the Outlaws will have 7 seconds to try to get one final opportunity before the period expires. Here's Tompkins. I don't know if he's aware about how much time they have, but he does get it over to Maloney, who buries it short side on Pinch. And that will make its way over the line just in time. The Outlaws will cut the Warrior lead down to 4. And after the first period, it'll be the Edmonton Warriors 6 and the Beaumont Outlaws 2. We'll be right back here with you on CROW LAX TV. We thank you for joining us right here on the channel. We'll be here with you all playoff long as we head into the playoffs and through the Larry Bishop Memorial as the Alberta RMLL champion gets crowned and sent off to BC for the Founders Cup. Again, it's Warriors 6, Outlaws 2. We'll be right back here with you in just under 10 minutes' time. Welcome back into the Bill Hunter Arena for second period Junior B RMLL action between the Edmonton Warriors and Beaumont Outlaws. The Warriors heading into the second with a 6-2 lead, but the Outlaws getting the last couple of goals of the period, including one with just under a second left, as they had the final possession with 7 seconds and were able to get one right before the period expired. As the ball is going to be brought up by Weatherby. And he tried to get it to Tompkins, who missed it. Didn't pick up the loose ball. He thought he had it, didn't. And now the Warriors will come up floor. Here's the younger stash, Nick Brody, as he comes in on the near boards. Dickin, Gulka, as they play a little bit of catch on the right side. Here's Wellner Bate out of the left corner. Wellner Bate, a little bit of a hop step, and then a sidearm shot that went wide. And then Dickin grabs the loose ball and throws it through Zadrazil. It's 7-2. And that is actually Dorland in net now, in replacing Zadrazil, as was kindly pointed out by my partner Eric. Doing a great job on the camera as always. Here's Simonson. Ball swung back and forth between he and Dickin. Here's Wellner Bate. Wellner Bate squeezed through a couple of defenders and got on top of Dorland, and Dorland able to make that stop. Here's Cook up the left board, or up the near boards. He got it down to Cutler, who crease dove and although it looked and sounded like it just hit pinch, it got in behind him, and it's 7-3. And it looks like they're going to take both Gordon and Cook for offsetting roughing penalties. Teams will play 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. And these next 8 minutes or so, up until about a halfway through the second period, I would say are really key. If the Outlaws are going to have any chance of getting back into this game and making a game of it, they're going to have to go on some type of run. And it's going to happen in the next little while. Now, the Outlaws, that's Rogalski making his way down the right side of the floor, tried to send that ball back up high, went loose, and now Tompkins has it off of the far half wall. Tompkins jumps around a pick, and he took that shot, and that's stopped by pinch. Here's Golka. Very dangerous in transition is Caden Golka. Golka out, and that got sent out in front on a Paraychuk, who quick sticks it into the short side. It's 8-3. Now it looks like they're going to toss Zadrazil back into the net and take Dorland out. As we sit here with 17:27 to go here in the second period, the Warriors leading by 5 by a count of 8-3. And then we pick it back up here with Royer coming down the left side. Royer looking to dish. He rolls off his man. Crease dive. Goes far side around Zadrazil. And it's 9-3. And definitely, the Warriors definitely had a game plan, or at least once the game started, found out that they could go a far side consistently on Zadrazil, and they haven't relented as both the righties and the lefties finding success shooting to that area of the net. And now off the face-off, they're going to call a loose ball interference on the Warriors, and it'll be Outlaws ball. Here's Stewart sprinting down the right side, and he scores up over top of pinch. It's 9-4. We've seen a lot of that in this game. Guys just allowed to run in a straight line right to the net. And you've seen it more by the Warriors, but the Outlaws have been able to do it as well. And Stewart capitalizing on that opportunity, as he said, you're going to give me this space, I'm going to take it. And the Warrior lead back down to 5. 9-4. Now off the face-off, it was picked up by Stashnik, and now Weatherby and Wolney did some pushing and shoving. It looked like there might be a fight, but honestly, that's a huge size mismatch. And as feisty as Jackson is, probably thought better of that one. It looks like they're going to be both taken for roughing. The referees will discuss here. They're going to let the teams know both guys are going to be taken for 2 minutes apiece. While we wait for this power play or for this next set to take place, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. It was the Miners taking a 2-0 series lead in their best of 7 over the Saskatchewan SWAT. They were victorious earlier today in Saskatchewan by a count of 12-5. And later on tonight, it'll be the undefeated Orangeville Northmen out of Ontario taking on Six Nations as they lead that best of 5 Ontario quarter 1-0 and look to take a commanding 2-0 lead in that one. Obviously heavily favored. Now ball's going to be sent up the floor. It's going to hit the roof. It's going to be Warrior ball. And of course, you can also check out more lacrosse action right here on CROW LAX TV later tonight as the St. Albert CROW pay a visit to Fort Saskatchewan as they renew their rivalry with the Rebels. That's at 7 o'clock, I believe, right here on the channel. Now out in front, as Royer made his way out with the loose ball, sent it over to Anna Farajchuk, who had 2 feet in the crease. Easy call for the official, and it'll be an outlaw ball. And now Cook takes a hit into the neck area, and there'll be a delayed call coming up to the Warriors for high sticking. As Lee sends it to Tompkins, back up to Lee. Lee. And he sent it over to Stewart, who fired it in, and it's 9-5. Outlaws crawling back into this one ever so slightly. As they play Blurry by Puddle of Mud here in the arena, a bit of a throwback. Really back to an era where I think a lot of people would agree music was just better. Good work by the DJ inside Bill Hunter Arena right now. Here's Golka down into the offensive zones. That swung over to Luke Royer. And Royer buries that past Zadrazil. Looked like it went again far side on the netminder. It's 10-5. The Warriors doubling up on the Outlaws. So the Warriors reclaiming that 5-goal lead here as the Outlaws looking to open up their offense and try to crawl back into the game. They're going to call a loose ball interference on the Outlaws. It'll be Warrior ball. So we go 4-on-4 here. Simonson tried to get that into a rolling Wellner bait. That got knocked down. Ball is sent over to the right. He's sticking inside. And Wellner bait was cutting wide open. Wasn't quite able to bring that one in. Now he'll pick up the loose ball, circle back up top, take a sidearm, short side wide. And now the ball's going to bounce back down into the Warrior zone as the shot clock was reset. Shouldn't have been. And they'll correctly blow that down, and it'll be outlaw ball off of the shot clock violation. 14:36 to go here, second period. Warriors 10, Outlaws 5. Here's Maloney now. Maloney on the near boards. Steps around his defender, Menon. Now he'll step around him again. Flips it over to Nestor. Nestor tried to swing that over to Stewart. Ball's going to go loose as Stewart gets pushed by a couple of Warriors, and now Wolney will head back into the Outlaw zone. He's going to be pressured there by Stewart. And Wolney will get that ball up to Ben Royer. Royer. So on a Farajchuk winds and fires. That's stopped by Zadrazil. Zadrazil looking for help. as he gets bumped there by Dickin. Looked like it was going to be a lot worse than it was. Here's Cutler. Up to Long. Off the left side. Long. Looking. And he'll continue to look now. He swings it over to Sika. Sika inside to Tompkins. Tompkins, and that gets knocked down by a Warrior defender before it could get in on net. And now it's going to be a Warrior ball off the shot clock violation. There was a low cross check there taken by Cole Stashnik. He didn't like that too much. I don't blame him. Goes uncalled. Here's Dewart out in front. And again, he steps underneath his man and goes around Zadrazil. It is 11-5. Far side yet again. The Warriors not relenting. And why would they when they've had so much success shooting that way all game? And now there's going to be a call coming up to the Warriors. It'll be a 2-minute slash to Wolney. So the Outlaws in desperate need of a goal here, will send their power play out onto the floor. Quarterbacked by Kylie. Here's Stewart off the right shooter. Skip past to Nestor. Here is Lee. Maloney back to Lee. They play catch. And Lee sails that one into pinch. Here's Lee up top. He tried to go 5-hole on pinch. That gets stopped. And now pinch will send a high pass up to Golka. That goes over his head. And then Zadrazil came out and gave him a huge slash. And then stopped the original shot from Golka. But the ball was picked up right in front by Menon. And the Warriors get a shorthanded goal. It's 12-5. Now off the draw. It'll be Nestor down the left side as the Outlaw power play tries to get that one back. Ball's going to go loose. It's batted across the top. Now it's going to be recollected by Nestor. Nestor tried to feed that over to the righties. Good stick there by the Warriors. Knocked that down. And now Royer in on a breakaway. Ben Royer. Royer in, and he winds and fires short side off a little bit of a fake far side. And it's 13-5. Yeah, it's one of the last guys that you want to have bearing down in on you with nobody back. Ben Royer, and Royer made no mistake there. A nice fake to the far side and just sort of without much of a wind up or hesitation, just pushing that ball back to the short side. Here's Nestor. Maloney off of the left shooter. That ball is swung back up top. Stewart. That gets stopped by a pinch. Pinch is going to look for somebody to outlet to. And now again, right off the bench. That ball was just a little bit too strong for Simonson, who would have been right in. Now a 3-on-2. Here's Maloney, and he rifles that off with a mask of pinch. Warriors again. This time it's going to be Menon in alone, and that's a stop by Zadrazil. As Gaudreau runs this up. As they return to even strength. So a bit of a rough sequence there for the Outlaws, who went to the power play down 11-5 and come out of the power play down 13-5. Ball's going to be shot. Stop. Ball's going to go loose as they battle for it, and Long will grab it. Here's Long up top. Ball is with Sika. Sika tried to swing that over to Maloney. That was too low. Maloney grabs the loose ball off the boards. Ball swung back over to Sika. Maloney underneath his man. He bounces that wide. And then the ball's going to go up off glass. And they're going to say loose ball interference. It'll be outlaw ball. (13-5). Warriors leading the Outlaws here at exactly the halfway point of regulation. As Cutler grabs this loose ball. As he works on his defender, Wolney. Cutler across the crease as Tompkins jumped up for that one. Quick stick, good save there by Pinch. And Pinch makes another one. And the Warriors will grab the loose ball. And here's Carey up over center. Tried to get that to Dickin, who will go recollect. As his name tag starts to peel off his jersey. Brand new jerseys. It's not a good sign. And then Simonson reaching over. Zadrazil wasn't able to beat the crossbar. Here's Elliott. Ball was swung to Dickin. Back to Royer. Now ball swung back over to Dickin. Dickin. Inside to Simonson. Simonson shoots that through Zadrazil. Somehow snuck through his 5-hole. It's 14-5. I really don't know how that went in. It looked like he shot it right. Looked like Simonson shot it right dead on the midsection of Zadrazil, or like right into his stick, and found a hole of some kind. Definitely hit him first, and the Warriors take a 9-goal lead here with still 9:10 to play here in the second period. Here's Stewart with it. Sorry, that was Sika. Now the ball's over with Nestor. Nestor. Back to Sika. Sika winds and fires from Red Deer. That goes well wide, and now it'll be Warrior ball off the shot clock violation. Here's Lanthier. That gets picked off by the Outlaws, and Hutchings will come up over center with it. He's going to be aggressively defended there by Ben Royer. Now Royer will peel off, and the Outlaws offense will hit the floor. Maloney swings it over to Lee. Lee winds and fires, and that's stopped by Pinch. And the ball will be brought up by Anna Farajchuk. Here's Anna Farajchuk right into the middle, and he swings that over to Simonson on the skip pass. Quick stick in the net, 15-5. So the Warriors stepping on the gas here a little bit more. The lead after after going to the power play down 11-5 and maybe with a chance to start cutting down that lead that the Warriors have held all game, the Warriors have answered with 4, 2 of them shorthanded to start their run off, and they have a commanding 10-goal lead here. As Dickin off the right side, up top to Simonson. Here's Dickin. Dickin inside to Royer. Royer goes 5-hole off of a couple of fakes, 16-5. This is just too easy right now. As the Outlaws are going to make another goaltending change, Dorland will come back in. So each goalie will have served 2 stints to this point in this game. Zadrazil started, Dorland came in. Zadrazil came back, and now Dorland's come back. As the ball is won here off the draw by the Outlaws, and now it was on the back of Wedman's stick, and he almost threw that into the bench. The Outlaws ended up getting a shot off of it. And now here's Golka in on a breakaway. Golka tried to go far side, stopped by Dorland. And Gaudreau with a good loose ball there. He fights his way through, and he'll come down floor. Gaudreau on the wrong side of the floor, bounces one into pinch. Another breakaway here. Well, another potential breakaway as Anna Frychuk tried to grab that, and the ball wasn't quite in his stick before he tried to turn. Here's Anna Frychuk. Those are always tough. Anybody who's ever played the game, those can be very annoying. And Dewart rips that into the far side. Top corner. It's 17-5. So the Warriors are making sure that they, at least for today, hold on to that number 1 seed in the North, get the bye, avoid having to play the Outlaws in the first round. As they hold a commanding 17-5 lead here, and we're not even out of the second period yet. As Sika makes his way up the floor. Now Tompkins. Tompkins, bit of a stutter step. Swings it over to Long. Gets it to Maloney. Maloney gets it up top. Now Stewart rolled off of a check and tight. And that was stopped by Pinch. And here come the Warriors on a Frychuk. He's going to create a 3-on-2. Here's Elliott. Elliott, cross net. And he got that over to Simonson, who hit the crossbar yet again in tight off of a tough angle. Here's Simonson. Simonson fakes the shot. Over to Dickin. Dickin swings it back over to Simonson. Ball down low to Ben Royer. Now Simonson wide open in front of a bit of a slip pick. Guy was stopped. And it'll be outlaw ball. 5:20 to go here, second period. Warriors holding a large 17-5 lead here. Now the ball's going to go loose. It's going to be picked up by Golka. Golka, again, a Warrior just standing wide open. Wolney, it's 18-5. Anybody who's been involved in sports, not just lacrosse, but sports in general, knows the worst feeling in the world is standing on a bench in a game like this, of this nature, especially with this much time left, and the game just ridiculously out of reach. Here comes Cook into the offensive zone. Cook is going to swing that over to Tompkins. Tompkins up to Sika. Sika works his way in, and that shot goes wide. Here's Maloney, and he tried to get that one in on net, missed, and as the shot clock expires, it'll be Warrior ball with Andrews running it out. Nice catch there by Dickin on the high pass. He waves for the pick. Now in was Elliott. That was sent wide. Dickin, nice drag move, and that's stopped. Here come the Outlaws in transition. Sutherland. Sutherland comes in and shoots that 5-hole. That's stopped by Pinch. As the Warriors make their way up the floor for another offensive possession. Here's Dewart. Hop step, comes across the top, winds and fires 5-hole. It's 19-5. So with 3:44 to go here in the second, it's the Warriors holding a 19-5 lead. Of course, later tonight you can check out more lacrosse action on the channel as the CROW will pay a visit to the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels in the JRC. And looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, the Miners were able to take a 2-0 series lead as they head home from Saskatchewan with a 12-5 win after winning 10-6 last night. And for whatever reason, they started that series in Saskatchewan, even though the Saskatchewan was the 4 seed and the Miners were the 1. Miners probably just preferred it that way, would be my guess. And also in Ontario, it would be the Orangeville Northmen taking a trip to the Res to play Six Nations as they lead that Ontario quarter 1-0. Of course, the Orangeville Northmen going into the game undefeated. Yeah, that's right. They haven't lost a game in Ontario Junior A all season, as they currently sit, including their playoff win, at 21-0. Needless to say, probably the mental favorites as we sit right now, but stranger things have happened, and there's a team in Coquitlam that's pretty damn good too. Now the ball gets sent into the middle. Ball's going to be picked up momentarily. Now it goes loose again. Simonson's just going to grab Gaudreau. They're going to call loose ball interference. And it'll be outlaw ball. Here's Maloney. Maloney to Long. Long. Pick set there by Maloney. Long comes across the top. Sent that wide. As Royer and Long run into each other, now the ball's going to be picked up by Royer, who just sort of navigates his way to the net, hit the crossbar. As it looks like they're going to get Dewar here for maybe an interference. Yeah, they're going to say interference as he took Weatherby into the boards. And so with 1:44 to go here in the second period, Warriors leading 19-5. The Outlaws will go back to the power play. Here's Nestor. And Lee tried to hit Nestor on the skip pass. Ball's going to be picked up back up by Maloney. He tried to skip it to the opposite crease. Tompkins, that wasn't caught. And now the Warriors will come back into the offensive zone. Here's Dickin up top. Dickin on the near boards as Elliott tries to free up some space. Now Dickin underneath. Dickin goes across crease, and that was stopped. And here come the Outlaws back down floor. As we hit the final minute of the second period. Here's Lee. Lee and Maloney up top. Maloney off that shooter as they play catch. Falls over to Stewart. That's stopped by Pinch. Now with 30 seconds, the Outlaws getting another reset here. Another shot taken by Stewart. Pinch will trap that against the turf, and it'll be Warrior ball here. There's some screaming here off of the Outlaws bench. They're not happy. And that's going to be stopped by Dorland. Here's Simonson as the period's going to expire here with the score. The Edmonton Warriors 19 and the Beaumont Outlaws 5. We want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV as we conclude the regular season here this weekend. We'll have playoff coverage for you starting next Friday night as the playoff schedule will be finalized after tomorrow's games. And we'll have coverage throughout the playoffs, both senior and junior B. And we'll have the provincials as well in Beaumont covered for you as we crown an RMLL champion as they get sent off to play in the Founders Cup, the national championship of junior B lacrosse action in Poco, BC. We'll be right back here with you on CROW LAX TV in just under 10 minutes time. It's Warriors 19, Outlaws 5 here from the Bill Hunter Arena on this Saturday afternoon. See you in about 10 minutes. as we return here for third period action, right from the Bill Hunter Arena, with the Warriors leading the Outlaws by a 19-5 count. It'll be the Warriors looking to secure the number 1 seed, and they can do so with a win here today and a Rebel loss later tonight against the CROW. And they can also, of course, secure that number 1 seed with a win tomorrow, assuming they hold on here today, which, barring some unforeseen circumstances, you would think that they would. As the Outlaws, on the other end of things, will look to play a little bit better lacrosse here in the third period. As I'm sure their coaching staff would be the first to admit, they just haven't been on here today. Especially on the backdoor side of things. Here's Sika, as he comes into the Warrior zone. Outlaws on the tail end of a power play here as Dewart returns to the floor. Ball's going to be battled for. Goes loose into the corner. And here's Long. He's going to try and get a shot. He does, but it's going to be picked up by Gordon with the shot clock expiring. Now in front to Dewar to try to one-hand that. Ball falls out of his stick just as he was attempting to do so. The Outlaws will turn it back up the floor. Now in front, that's Nestor, and he scores. It's 19-6. So as we sit here, the Warriors leading 19-6, looking to secure that number 1 seed. Teams fighting for playoff positioning here on the final weekend. I want the viewers to hit me up on Twitter at MJ_9. Let me know who you have going to the provincials in Beaumont. Who's winning the North? Who's winning the South? Who's winning the Central, the East? And of course, we already know who the host will be. It'll be the Outlaws. So hit me up on Twitter, MJ_9, and let me know who you have going to the provincials to fight for that spot in the Founders Cup. Of course, the Regina Kings, who already have committed to the Founders, will be representing Saskatchewan. And if they win the East, they'll be at the tournament, having already clinched a spot in the National Championship that goes down in Poco, BC in mid-August. As that shot gets sent in on Dorland, but went wide. Here come the Outlaws back up floor. It's Weatherby. Up to Tompkins. Tompkins wants to dish. Nobody there. Now he's going to be pressured by Gordon. Now here's Maloney. Maloney underneath his man. That goes wide. Ball's going to bounce into the near boards where Weatherby's going to be pinned by Carey and Gordon. As the shot clock's going to expire, it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Simonson. And as we just talked about, if you have Minto Cup predictions, anything of that nature, who you have winning it all, who's getting there, can also hit me up on Twitter, MJ_9. You can take the always opinionated Cody Jansen as well. I'm sure he'll have plenty of input to offer. You can, of course, check out the Junior Beast podcast weekly on Spotify or wherever really you get your podcasts, as Cody goes over the current landscape in the Junior B division. Should be a good playoff run, as there are a lot of teams that could conceivably win. And I'm not just saying that. There really truly are about 5 teams that are all relatively interchangeable and all have clear strengths and weaknesses. Now, off of a bit of a broken play in transition, Brody Stashnik found himself out in front. That ball was sent off the turf and into the mesh behind the glass, and it'll be Outlaw ball. As we sit here, 16:44 to go, third period. The Warriors leading the Outlaws 19-6. Here's Anna Frychuk. As if you're watching at home, I wouldn't expect a ton of goals in this period, as these things just naturally, the way that games ebb and flow. Usually when you have a score like this, there's not a ton of goal scoring late in the game. As Simonson found himself wide open in front, but that was stopped. As an outlaw was brought down, that was Cook. They're going to nab Simonson there for a trip. The Outlaws will return to the power play. Down 19-6 with 16 minutes to go here, third period. Here's Tompkins fading in behind the net. Over to Nestor. Nestor, cross seam pass to Lee. That was shut off by Bialik, who has replaced Pinch in the Warrior net. Here's Lee. Lee over to Maloney. It's handled by Bialik, and the Warriors try to get this up the floor before the 10-second count expires. Here's Royer. Ben Royer comes into the outlaw zone. Hop step around his defender. He gets a shot, and that's stopped. Ball's going to be picked up there by Weatherby. Weatherby's going to race out. He's going to try and create a breakaway out of this. He does. He gets out in front, but then elects to not shoot. Now he spins off of a check. And the ball's up with Lee. Now Maloney. Maloney winds and fires. Top corner, far side, 19-7. Don't forget, again, coming up tonight, you can check out the St. Albert Crude and the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels live from the JRC. It'll be the Rebels trying to match this, what will be a Warrior win here, with a win of their own to keep their hopes alive into tomorrow for that 1 seed in the North. And hit that subscribe button on the channel as these games start to matter that much more as we head into the playoffs. You won't want to miss any of the action as we start the playoffs next Friday night. Now the ball's going to get picked up here by Lanthier, and he's going to pull it out for the Warriors. And he hands off to Simonson. Simonson fires a pass as Dickin quick sticks that into the short side. It's 20-7. And folks, we've got a football score here. Nice clean 20-7. Pretty common occurrence in a football game, whatever it is, an NFL game, a CFL game, a college game. Been a lot of goals here this afternoon from Bill Hunter. And you can bet that both of these teams are going to want to clean things up defensively as they head into the playoffs. Here's Wolney down the near boards. He flips that back to Wellner Bate. Wellner Bate, Banner Royer. Royer tried to take a look inside. That didn't connect with Dewart. And now the Outlaws will come back into the offensive zone. with Cook. As Peyton Cook gets checked there. Ball's going to go loose. Good job there by Ben Royer to create that turnover. As he knocks that by a Outlaw defender, but lost a stick, not able to pick it up. And good work there by the big man, Lachlan Gordon, who comes up with it. Used his big frame to box the Outlaws out and pick that loose ball up. Now here's Simonson. Simonson just walks and then rips it far side by Zadrazil. And I said we had a common football score before. Now we have a really common football score, 21-7. Warriors up a couple touchdowns. Now in transition, Lanthier is going to come into the Outlaw zone. Lanthier tried to roll off a check. Now he's going to get the ball over to Wellner Bate. Wellner Bate skips it over to Dewart. Dewart goes back door to Wellner Bate, and that just goes over top of the net. Ball goes loose. Battle there for Dewart. A couple Outlaws there taking him on. Now Golka with it. Golka sent that. Trying to get a reset in on net. Goes wide. It'll be Outlaw ball. As Weatherby comes out over center. Here's Tompkins. Tompkins. Swings it to Maloney. Maloney. Nestor. Stewart. Back to Tompkins. Now he tried to feed it into Stewart, who stopped up on top of the crease. No connection there. And then the Outlaws tried to get a reset. It came from being behind the net. They won't be granted one, as you can't get a reset off of a shot that comes from behind the goal line, and it'll be Warrior ball. Now Anna Farajchuk found himself in on net, but the ball didn't get to him, and now the ball's sent up floor. Long has a man open in front. Tried to get it to him. Does get it to him eventually. Gaudreau tried to quick stick it. It didn't settle in his stick, and now he'll draw a loose ball interference call. With 11:13 to go, third period, the Warriors leading 21-7. Long tried to throw a bit of a twister there off the carpet. That goes wide. And now Pennock is sent up floor. Pennock spins off of a guy. Tried to shovel one in on net. Lost the ball. Now the Outlaws will battle him for it as Dickens steps in to help him out. Now Pennock does come away with it with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And a delayed penalty coming up to the Outlaws. Haven't really seen any kind of bad blood here. And especially with this game well out of hand, it's a little bit surprising that we haven't seen this get a little bit greasier, as now Murray, and I believe that's Dickin, shoving. Yeah, it is Dickin. As they'll get sent to the box here. Likeliest outcome here is 2 each for roughing, but we'll wait and see for the official call. As we sit here with 10:33 to go here, third period, and the Warriors leading the Outlaws 21-7. And again, I want to remind everyone, as we approach the playoffs, get in your playoff predictions. Hit me up on Twitter, MJ_9. Let us know here on CROW LAX TV who wins the North, who wins the South, who wins the Central, who takes the East, and who joins the Outlaws on provincial weekend, Larry Bishop Memorial, first weekend of August in Beaumont. And if you want to get creative, you can even say who they will beat in their respective divisional final and in how many games. And remember, it's only a best of 3, as is round 1. So it happens quick, and one game can mean a lot. The South in particular is extremely tight. You could make a case easily for 3 teams in that division alone. Here's Maloney. Maloney working on Gordon. Pick set there by Cutler. Maloney spins off another check by Wolney. He tried to flip that inside to Cutler. That went way over his head as they battle for the ball in the corner. That's kicked by Lanthier into the opposite corner as the Warriors smartly don't pick that up as they'll get a reset. 10 minutes exactly to go here, third period. The Warriors maintaining that 14-goal lead. You heard it right, 14-goal lead. Here's Royer across net. That was stopped as Elliott sent that one in off the quick stick. Here's Hutchings. Gaudreau. Good stop there by Bialik. And again, we'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard here as it was the Miners victorious in Saskatoon as they took a 2-0 series lead over the SWAT. And again, that series did, yes, start in Saskatoon. As I'm assuming, I didn't ask them, I didn't talk to them about it, but I'm assuming it was at the request of the Miners that the series start there. So maybe they didn't have to travel there next weekend. And they could just stay home, maybe, perhaps into the final. But they do take a 2-0 series lead over Saskatoon. And the Mountaineers currently leading their best of 7 first-round series. The winner, of course, going to the Mitzo Cup as the next Alberta team, as they beat the Raiders in Game 1, 10-8. And then in Ontario tonight, it'll be undefeated Orangeville Northmen going into Six Nations on the Res, and they'll take on the Arrows, leading as the Northmen lead that series 1-0. The Ontario quarters, only a best of 5. So that's a huge one in Six Nations. And BC will resume their 2 best of 5 semifinals tomorrow with both Coquitlam and Victoria up 2-0 on Poco and Nanaimo, respectively. Here's Rex Wolney as they're going to blow this dead. As they're going to take somebody here. Looks like Dickin again. This actually might have been Royer last time. But nevertheless, that was Dickin this time as he gets sent to the box. And with 8:25 to go, it's going to be another Outlaw power play. As they try to set the shot clock up to its correct time. And I don't know that. I didn't see them take an Outlaw to the box, but they're 5-on-5 here, which tells me that there was an Outlaw sent into the box. Simonson out in front, wide open. He walks the crease. Couple of fakes. Far side goal. And this is the type of game where you wish that you were playing like NHL 16 and you could just hit simulate. Get rid of the rest of the third period. Move on to the next calendar date. As it looks like they might have tossed Dickin as he walks through the stands into the dressing room. Maybe a 10-minute misconduct, get him out of the game. That's what it looks like. Here's Stashnik out in front. Yeah, got away from him before he could shoot. Here's Lanthier. Dewart. He's going to feed that over to Lanthier, and that gets stopped. And they're going to say Lanthier stepped in the crease anyway. So it'll be outlaw ball. Here's Sika. He's going to walk right down the middle, but into a couple of Warriors this time. He takes a big whack from Onofarichuk. Here's Cutler underneath. He decides his angle's too severe. He comes back up top. Now he's going to walk down the middle, and he bounces that short side. It's 22-8. Hope you took the over here today, folks, as we hit 30 goals on the game between the two clubs. Not the most intense or involved game here, as players have had all day and all sorts of room to walk to net. And they took advantage of it with, as I said, a total of 30 goals on the game. And off the draw, it's going to be picked up by Stashnik, and he's going to push this down the floor. Stashnik tried to hit Royer on the crease. That goes wide of him. But now Brody Stashnik will pick up the loose change and get it back over to Ben Royer. Royer to Wellner Bate. Wellner Bate, Dewart, as the ball gets sent over to the right side. Elliott, Simonson, Wellner Bate, Elliott. Backdoor Simonson. He's unable to get the shot off. Now it's back up with Dewart. Dewart across the top. Backdoor to Simonson. Good stop there on the quick stick. Ball's going to be picked up. And Gaudreau's going to grab it. Gaudreau, the speedster, in. He rolls off a check. And he went across the net. Not able to tuck that in. And that goes into the stick of Ben Royer. Breakaway pass. Here's Wolney. Wolney in. He's met there by Cutler. Still gets a shot off. That'll bounce up off of an outlaw. And it'll be a Warrior ball. 6:12 to go. Third period. Warriors with the 22-8 lead. As the ball is going to be walked up here by Ben Royer. Ball up top with Ben. Dewart winds. That's stopped. Ball's going to go loose. Picked back up by Dewart. Dewart takes a stiff check there. Now the ball's going to be sent into the boards as Elliott sends his man down. It's going to be, they're going to nab Elliott here for a cross check. So it'll be an outlaw power play here with 5:40 to go. Warriors leading 22-8. Here's Stewart. Skips that down to Nestor. Back up to Stewart. He winds. That's a stick save by Bialik. As Brody Stashnik's going to take on a couple outlaws. He's going to lose that. And it'll be picked up by Tompkins. Now in behind the net, Nestor. Here's Maloney. Maloney swings it to Stewart. Lee. Lee winds and fires and buries it up top on Bialik. It's 22-9. And I thought throughout this game, it kind of looked like Lee was babying his shots a little bit, not really stepping into them. And on that one, he stepped into it. And the adjustment worked out for him as he ripped that into the top corner. So the Outlaws' leading scorer adds another one to his impressive tally in 2023. And now Sika underneath his man, and he crease dives, and that's a good stop by Bialik. As he's come in here during this third period to spell pinch in a game that was already decided. Here's Gaudreau. Spin move, as you see him often do. He's mastered that move, that's for sure. The circle button on the controller. Gaudreau, definitely up in the top 3 or 4 guys in the league at utilizing that move. Maybe even the best, at least in the North. Here's Lee, and he buries that into the chest of Bialik. Here's Anna Farajchuk. He takes a couple of slashes. A third one, right on the glute. Now, in off the wrong side of the floor. That was shut off. As the Outlaws will come back up floor. So Maloney evades a stick check. Now he's hit there hard by Coleman Carey. Sika pressed up high. Here's Long. Parkland Posse product shoots that. That's stopped by Bialik. And now Lee is bumped off the ball. Now Maloney. They're allowing these guys are basically just allowed to blow each other up off of loose balls. There was a sequence of about 4 guys getting hit with the guy not making any attempt at the ball. Couple each way. But nevertheless, they play on. And Wellner Bate is going to control it here for the Warriors. Here's Ben Royer. Royer. He gets met there by Gaudreau. Out in front. And now looks like they're going to nab Elliott again. The offensive righty is going to get 2 consecutive cross-checking penalties. And the Outlaws will pretty much finish this game up on the power play, unless, of course, they score. 22-9, they trail the Warriors. 2:36 to go here, third period. Hit that subscribe button, CROW LAX TV. We're getting to the best part of the season right now as the playoffs set to begin next Friday night. No better place to watch free lacrosse, CROW LAX TV, right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Here's Lee. Maloney. Nestor. Back up to Lee. Stewart takes a sub shot. That gets stopped by Bialik. Lee. Back over to Maloney. He goes low on Bialik. It's 22-10. Now, if this is not the highest total of the season, it's got to be right up there. At 32 goals, that's basically a goal every 2 minutes of play. Higher, even more. So, I'm not looking at the entire schedule, nor would I have time to do that right now. But I would hazard to guess it's at bare minimum top 3 in terms of highest scoring games on the season. As that ball gets sent in, it gets blocked by a Warrior defender. Now the ball's going to go loose, picked up by Tompkins. Tompkins out of the corner. Out in front. A little bit of a skip pass to Nestor. Back up to Long. Lee. As the shot clock's going to expire, it'll be Warrior ball. As Golka will come into the outlaw zone. And he's going to toss that back up high to Simonson. So the Warriors look content to just sort of let this time expire as they just flip that in behind the Outlaw net. It'll be Outlaw ball. And here comes Lee. And once again, this isn't it for Lacrosse here today on CROW LAX TV. You can check out the St. Albert Crew going into the JRC to take on the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels tonight, as a Fort Saskatchewan win would allow them to have something to play for tomorrow, because they would still be able to overtake the Warriors with a win and a Warrior loss tomorrow afternoon. So if nothing else, they could at least put some pressure on the Warriors to have to go and beat the Crew tomorrow afternoon in St. Albert. Now the ball is going to go loose, and it's going to be knocked forward. And as the time expires here, Lee is just going to hold on to this. Maybe the Outlaws are going to take, they won't shoot. And as the time winds down, your final score here from Bill Hunter Arena will be the Edmonton Warriors 22 and the Beaumont Outlaws 10. The Warriors go to a 15-4 record and complete a perfect season at home, going 10-0. And the Outlaws will fall to 6-13, but they've already clinched that final playoff spot in the North as they look forward into tomorrow's game to finish up their regular season in Fort Saskatchewan. Once again, final score, the Edmonton Warriors 22, the Beaumont Outlaws 10. We want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV this afternoon. For Mohammed Joma and my partner, Eric Kraus, thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.